afternoon, everyone. My name is Simran Chaudhary, and I welcome you all on behalf of Voice of Healthcare to a podcast series Nurturing Bonds Expert Insights on Breastfeeding. This podcast series aims to educate and support breastfeeding mothers and their families. This year's theme is Closing the Gap Breastfeeding Support for All, which resonates deeply with our mission to provide comprehensive support and awareness for breastfeeding mothers in all their diversity. To celebrate this week, today we have with us as our guest Dr. Sunita Tandulwadkar. She is President elect Federation of Obstetric and Gynecological Society of India, that is FOGSI, Indian representative to Aspire, President elect ISAR, past President IAJE, founder President of Society of Ovarian Regeneration. With over 3 decades of experience, Dr. Tandulwadkar has pioneered advancement in infertility treatment for regenerative medicine. Her contribution to gynecological endoscopy and obstetric care have earned her numerous prestigious positions and accolades, including the Economic Times National Fertility Award and Bharat Gaurav Puraskar as well. Welcome to our platform, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Ma'am, this as I just explained that with this podcast we aim to raise awareness about breastfeeding week, right? As there's so many misconception, myths around, and people are not much aware of this. So, starting with our conversation, ma'am, could you explain the psychological process of breastfeeding and how it benefits both mother and the child?
See, first of all, congratulations. We have breastfeeding week just to increase the awareness of breastfeeding across, I should say, the globe. Because breastfeeding is a most natural process where mother produces the milk to nourish the baby. It's as simple as that. After the childbirth, there are certain hormonal changes which triggers the production of breast milk in the breast. Now the two important hormones which are related with this are the prolactin and the oxytocin. I always tell my patient, when they say that the breast milk enough hai ya nahi hai, I say breast is not गाय का गोटा where you have 100 liters available at your service. It is produced when the baby starts sucking. That reflex just develop the reflex to the brain, and the release of this prolactin and oxytocin happen. Contraction of these glands, the ducts, and the secretion comes, that is called milk, and it enters, and the breast milk is produced. So obviously, this breast milk has huge nutrition for the baby and the antibodies to the baby. So it helps in baby's growth and the immunity. Those breastfed babies will always fight the immunity, any those illnesses like cough, cold, with every change of a weather, the viral infection, their body is immunostrong and they will fight. Of course, as we go and talking, you can discuss many more things about it more in detail. But what is important, it also helps the lady. Now, during the pregnancy, the uterus is developed and grown to a big size. Even after delivery, it is like up to the navel. It has to go back to its fist size. These breastfeeding, the hormones, helps to contract and make the uterus go back to its normal size. So it's very important. It's a physiological process, and it's the most important nutritional product for the baby, at least for first 6 months, only breast milk.
Thank you so much for explaining on that, ma'am, because that is the process that physiological process is difficult to understand when, and especially for the mothers who go through it because they're handling so many things at a time. And thank you so much for giving, creating that awareness for our audience as well. Also, what advice would you give to new mothers who are balancing work and the breastfeeding because they're new mothers and they have to work also, they have to maintain their identity, what they like to do. So, how can they balance this?
See, this is especially those who have become first time the mother. For them also is the first time breastfeeding, and for the baby also is the first time breastfeeding. So it takes usually a week for them to adjust with each other. Now, for my patients, suppose they are working and they have a paternity leave or the maternity leave, not paternity, but the maternity leave of 6 months. I tell them, work as much as you can during pregnancy. You don't need a rest even in 9 months, so that you can conserve your 3 months or 6 months, whatever your company allows, after the delivery. So you can totally give time for your nutrition. So your breast milk is good and your baby care is good. Now, sometimes, especially the profession like doctors
Yeah.
who are working self, unless you work, you don't earn. We are not doing job. Then how can they do? Second, what they can do is they can take a help of a breast pump,
Mm.
okay, and they can pump the milk, and for a day they can keep it in a fridge. But at the same time, it's very important that they have a surrounding, helping hands, the positive atmosphere at home, not only for good production of a milk, because if she is mentally healthy, she will be physically healthy, she'll have a good production, but
Yeah.
at the same time, for 8 hours, when she's leaving the baby and the breast milk she's keeping, someone, she should be relaxed, confident that someone is taking care. So it's not only the husband, the mother-in-law, all need to be supportive, but she should be stress free when she goes for a work for those hours, so that her breast milk is not affected.
Yeah.
She can breast pump, keep it in the fridge. That's beautiful. You know, Simran, I always tell breast milk you can give for 1 year, 1.5 year. Now, suppose after 9 months, there are breast milk banks in the country, in the cities. So, if you are fortunate that you are living in the city, there are breast milk banks you can express. If you are too much surplus, you can donate also. But if you want to keep for your own baby, you can just keep on providing and keeping the stock in the milk bank. I am at Pune with the DY Patil Medical College. I have my IVF endoscopy, fantastic center there, and their breast milk bank is fantastic and very, very cost economical, reasonable for even the lower middle class people to buy the breast milk and give to that baby than taking the nutritional products or the powders. Thank you.
And yeah, and like you said, that environment should be, supportive, and that supports mother for more of breast milk. And but ma'am, there are also this one thing at workplace. What if a mother is at workplace and there is no such kind of policy or something? So how can we make together in a society that supportive workplace environment for new mothers?
What? That's why Indian culture of a combined family, the in-laws and the kids staying together. This why we are going on a western side, I have no idea. But this culture of living together is the most important thing today's lady wants. That's why those who are living in US, so many of my friends and I know my patients, they go for delivery and stay 6 months as a helping hand to their daughter or their daughter-in-law, is just for that. They are the lucky one who can have their mother or a mother-in-law coming and staying for 6 months with them.
Yeah.
But it's not only the breast milk. The lady needs it for so many times. She needs a household help. She needs to rest because whole night she may be awake because of the baby. So many factors come when I say helping hand at home.
You said it right, ma'am. And my next question is on that only. So, how does it impacts new mother's mental health when she's breastfeeding? Like you just explained, it's not just about breastfeeding or the mothers who's going through that, but because they go through a lot. So, how does it impact, and how can they come out of that thing?
See, nature is beautiful. This breastfeed mother, they also have a release of oxytocin hormone. That oxytocin hormone reduces the stress. It fosters the sense of well-being. Bonding with the baby also helps to release more and more of these oxytocin. Now, what happens, that's why I say always remain so cheerful. You are going to get one beautiful life in this world. Think from a spiritual background, think from a holistic background, and remain so much positive that you are creating one human being, and you are getting that human being out, and you are going to nurture that human being. So create that holistic atmosphere all around you, so that you have not only release of a prolactin in a very good way, but also the oxytocin, which is a stress buster. So every mother has to think, whatever the strata, socioeconomic strata they are, they are doing something good for the environment, for the nature, for they are bringing one life in this world, and only they have this power to do this. So feel blessed that if you are mother and if you got a daughter, you feel blessed.
Why specifically daughter, ma'am?
You know what? She is going to become a mother sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So the daughters are daughter. So she will also be a mother sometime. She will produce another baby, and that baby will produce another baby. So you are going to have such a beautiful environment all around you. The human life has to be cherished, and should everyone feel that they are fortunate that they can take care of one another human being.
You explained that very beautifully, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. And ma'am, there's also so many myths, misconceptions that when you're breastfeeding, you have to take care. You can't eat that, you can't do that, you can't eat spicy food. You have to eat bland food because it will affect your health and the baby's health. Nutrition, the baby needs to get this nutrition, and there's so many supplements out there in the market. So sometimes it's very confusing for new mothers who are not aware of it and they do not have much helping hands. So how can we burst all these myths, and they can, what else can they can eat for their
I,
nutritional benefit?
I understand. So, first of all, all those who are young and are breastfeeding and are in a dilemma whether my breast milk alone is enough, please, it's enough. It is the best nutrition baby can have. Number one. Now, what you want baby to have? What are the powders going to do? They will maybe good in rich in calcium or the proteins. You have that. You want your baby to have a like palaka soup and green spinach and tomato and all those dry fruits. You have that. After digestion, all those products are going to go into the breast milk. So when you are breastfeeding, I take a tremendous care about a lady's diet during pregnancy. I give a huge importance because the adulthood diseases in the baby, the journey starts in the womb of a mother. So if mother takes very good nutrition first 1000 days of baby's right, so 9 months goes in a mother's womb only, and then they breastfeed another 6 months. So if you are very good and having a balanced diet of salads, fruits, proteins, enough of carbohydrates, and not excess carbohydrates or fat, this balanced diet will have a very good nutritional value. It will have antibodies which are going to help your baby not only grow but make a robust immune system. And that is going to make the baby fight everything in the world. If I tell you, if the breastfeed babies in their adulthood, the chronic diseases, what a man or a woman can have, all can be avoided if their mother have breastfed them very well. So your adulthood diseases also, I never get a cough and cold and all these one. So I always have very strong immunity, and I feel probably my mother has taken very good care of her diet during the breastfeeding portion or during the lactation, and she must have fed me very well. That's why my immunity is very robust. Of course, it has to be supported by healthy lifestyle during the adulthood also.
Yeah. Touch wood, it remains the same. Yeah.
But you
Ma'am,
read one line about me about the regenerative medicine.
yes,
I'm
yes.
pioneer in, so I regenerate my body and my organs also. We'll talk some other time.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, any specific diet or food you would like to recommend for the breastfeeding mothers on the basis of nutritional growth for them and their babies?
No, balanced diet. Indian diet, I'm in Pune. The Brahmin Society, fantastic diet, right amount of carbohydrate. Maybe I will prefer jawar ka roti over wheat. I will
Hmm.
avoid rice which has excessive carbs. Okay, but I'll have a, if I'm vegetarian, enough amount of paneer or tofu or the bowl of sprouts, nuts, jaggery, very important. Now 5 colors of salads, I tell them, cucumber, carrot, everything, 5 colors of salads. Every color will have a different vitamins and minerals in it, and 5 portions of fruit. When I say 5 colors of fruit, doesn't mean one apple and one orange and one pomegranate. Small portion of 5 colors of fruits. All my patients take 5 types of salads, 5 types of fruits. I make them green smoothie preparation and I give them red smoothie preparations. If they take these smoothies, they are fantastic. Vegetarian, no issue. It's not problem. You can have a different type of proteins. So don't go for any fancy thing. Have your balanced diet, more frequent diet, because you are breastfeeding. Uh, Naturally you are losing lot of calories and nutrition. It will help them to reduce the weight which they have gained, because nicely 300, 400 calories they are taking out every time.
Yeah.
So that itself should be good enough. And a sound sleep, very important to have a good sleep, good mental health, have a all the time positive holistic atmosphere around you. See, India has a rich culture. अभिमन्यु की story सबको मालूम है.
Huh.
Baby can listen. Same way you talk to your baby even afterward. The mother baby bond, if you see some mother and the baby, especially the son, the bonding is very thick. Daughters are always attached, probably, but the mother and a son, and that's probably that skin to skin contact is very important when you
Hmm.
are breastfeeding. So don't have 10 people around you. Close your, give time to your baby, talk to your baby, develop the contact. Yeah.
And that is a very beautiful journey that you have explained to us. Also, ma'am, as president elect of FOGSI, what are your key priorities? What do you think are the key priorities for the organization in the coming years? And how do you plan to address these challenges faced by obstetrics and gynecologists in India, as you're playing a very important role there?
This is a beautiful question you asked, because I represent 45,000 gynecologists of India. It's my job to protect my gynecologist and obstetrician also. At the same time, we all have to work towards the mother and child health. So there are many NGOs, there are many healthcare industries parallel, maybe UNICEF and WHO. We do have with those many programs to take care of a mother and child. We try to work on improving the antenatal care. We try to improve the maternal care even during the childbirth. But at the same time, when we talk about women health, I'm doing two very important big projects. Might be for the first time, I'm telling you. One is know your number. Every woman in the country, in India, the lady don't go for a health checkup,
Hmm.
so busy with the family. Even if she is educated, you ask your mom when she has done her last health checkup, unless she has a gynecological problem, but not the minor problem. Minor she neglects, hota hoga, bleeding issue, hota hoga, unless it becomes to the thing that it becomes impossible. So every lady should know her weight and try to keep it as normal as possible. These number, her weight, if she's heavy, try to do exercises, calorie deficit diet, and bring it to the normal. Keep your blood pressure normal. So yoga, meditation, very important. I believe in Kapalbharti, Anulom Vilom tremendously. Try to keep your hemoglobin above 12 or 13 and keep your sugars normal.
Yeah.
If you make these four numbers near normal, you will have a long, healthy life. At the same time, for a young adolescent girls, I want to say, do टीके जिंदगी के दो बूंद जिंदगी के, that is cervical cancer vaccine. Simiran, we should do sometimes the podcast on that. The second most common cause of death in India is a cervical cancer. This
Yes.
is the only cancer for which vaccine is there. Why there is lack of awareness, I have no idea. We have to motivate. Maybe lack of sympathy or empathy, even by the healthcare providers, to take out time and talk about. If the young girl come to me for the menstrual problem, for the skin problem, acne, or the irregularity, I talk about these problem, I should take out 5 minutes to tell her about cervical cancer vaccination also. So
Hmm.
it should be. So it's very important that every president of our country works in improving, and that's why I'm so proud today, where the FOGSI has taken the woman health care to another level, even in smaller societies, smaller cities. For example, you want to take MP Sagar, the best of the gynecologists, very good program. We do the continuous medical education, we do the CMEs, we upgrade the knowledge, and every gynecologist are absolutely geared up. Sometimes they lack in infrastructure and facilities. Sometimes they do lack in a blood banks, so which are so much important. Do lack the super specialities, we should be there around that. That is what the difference is now in US. Even if it is a smaller village, from a health structure and an infrastructure point of view, it is as advanced as any metro city. That doesn't happen in our country, and that's why we still call ourselves as a developing country. But at the same time, I'm running going to run the project to protect my obstetricians and gynecology. Violence against doctors is so damn important. When they bleed, the lady bleed during pregnancy, do you think, Simran, by chance, if you come to me for delivery and if you profusely bleed, it's not my fault. It's your
Yes.
body, it's your uterus, it's your system. I'm trying my best to save. No doctor want their baby patient to die. But if something goes wrong, the relatives, the way they create the havoc, they throw stones on a doctors. In last 3 years, two doctors have done suicide. This is very painful. The doctors have to be respected. They pray for you every day before leaving the house. So, spirituality into medicine is my very important project, which I feel those who are not spiritual, my doctors, to me, my knowledge, 70% are always spiritual, but remaining 30% also, I want them to motivate and get spirituality. So the universal power help you to help your patient, but at the same time, bringing the respect in the society, in all, especially the smaller cities, that the doctors, they don't have personal life. Today night, suppose I have a dinner, my guests are coming, my brother, bhabhi are coming. I got a delivery patient. Unfortunately, I won't be at home.
Yes.
So, very important that give respect and take respect.
You said it right, ma'am, because doctors are the savior of the society. They are saving every possible human in this who is diagnosed with any kind of disease or going through any kind of physical problem. So they
COVID
are
pandemic has shown it. All
exactly.
doctors were working. Unless when Narendra Modi said sit at home, the doctors were working in casualties.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
sit at home was to all except the doctors. So we were
They were
putting
the
our life risk. We had pregnant doctors who were working. So one has to understand. Just imagine a day without a doctor, what will happen in their life.
there will be a lot of chaos, havoc that patients are running here and there, and there's so much of confusion around where to go, where matlab, to get that help, to get that guidance. So this without healthcare, without doctors, no country can run. And I think that's
Thank
why
you.
we know the importance of our doctors. That's why Voice of Healthcare also celebrated National Doctors Day for a month, and we celebrated all our doctors.
Celebrate 365 days,
Yes,
yeah. When they celebrate Mother's Day and Women's Day one day, I said it's a celebration 365 days. What are you talking about? Only 8th March to be celebrated as Women's Day?
yes,
No.
yes.
So the FOGSI, with the help of, collaboratively with the government and non-government organization, 24 by 7 is trying to work for the woman health or the maternal health. And I'm so thankful that I'm an obstetrician, gynecologist, infertility specialist. So I bring the life. I take care of those lives, and it's beautiful. God has blessed this life by giving this profession.
And all your patients are also to have such great and nice doctor also.
Thank you.
Moving on to my last question of this conversation, ma'am. How do you envision FOGSI's role in advancing women's health and reproductive rights in India? We
I
just
think
talked a bit about,
I
yeah.
think we spoke the same.
Yes, yes.
It's very important that we empower the woman with the knowledge, with her rights. We educate her about her health. Visit the gynecologist. Maybe you will be diagnosed at a very early stage from a serious problem. So woman empowerment, when we talk, it's not only the rights of a woman, what is right here, but
Hmm.
also her knowledge, her ability to take care of her own health.
Yes. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience, expertise, and knowledge with us. This matters a lot to create awareness in the society for the Breastfeeding Awareness Week and as well as for the women's health in our country as well. Thanks a
Thank you.
lot for coming to our platform and sharing your expertise.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure was mine.